First of all, there isn't really an agreement completed yet. It's still fluid. We're still discussing details of it. Very simply, what Congress wants is that the President of the United States submit what he is negotiating to the people of the United States through their elected representatives, through Congress. He's willing to submit it to the UN. He certainly ought to be willing to submit it to the people of the United States. And we also want to give him the space to negotiate. That's his job as the head of the second branch of government to negotiate such an agreement or treaty. And then it's our job as members of the first branch of government to sign off on that. This is not a political question. We're dealing here with something that is incredibly serious. We're dealing with the most dangerous nation on the face of the earth, who have their fingerprints on every problem that we have in the Middle East and who want to construct a nuclear weapon. We're trying to negotiate to a point, the administration's trying to negotiate to a point where they won't get one. They, on the other hand, are negotiating a path forward to get such a nuclear weapon.
But Senator, let's try to be clear, because it's difficult and there are a lot of elements to what you guys are discussing and will be voting on at some point, we expect, on Capitol Hill. What you guys are looking at right now, it is about delaying the president's ability to lift sanctions, if you will, with this review period. Anything that you are voting on right now or that you want to vote on, does it have the ability to prevent a deal from going through on the Iran nuclear negotiations?
Well, right now, both Congress and the President agreed originally that we would place sanctions on Iran. Congress certainly should be involved in lifting those sanctions. One of the problems we have right now is I'm not exactly sure.
But you're talking about slowing lifting sanctions. Are you slowing lifting sanctions? What you're voting on, does it have anything to do with preventing a final deal from going through?
Well, I would say this. A final deal from going through needs congressional approval. Look, the Iranian legislature has said that there's not going to be a deal until they've signed off on it. Certainly, the people of the United States should have that same agreement. And there's nothing wrong with having the American people signing off on a deal that's reached with Iran, something that is as far-reaching as this. But, you know, Kate, you hit on a really important point, and that is when they came out and shook hands and smiled and said, look, we have this framework, the Iranian people, the Iranian negotiators went home and said, yes, the framework is such that the sanctions will be lifted on day one after an agreement's reached. The U.S. negotiators, including Senator Kerry, came back and said, oh, no, that's not true at all. They're going to be stepped off. And they're still taking that position, the administration, that it is going to be a gradual reduction of the sanctions. That's the way it should be, but I'm not exactly sure what the parties have agreed to, because they're taking two different positions.